Hello, and welcome. I'm VelvettB, and thank you for joining me this Halloween. And we have today a creepy house. Talk about an original name for that. Oh, funny. Anyway, let's get straight into it. I am landscaping away. The reason that there is a shell already in place is because I am doing a shell challenge for the Absurd Koala Halloween shell. So this is a Halloween shell. You could do something creepy or haunted or something like that for the Halloween shell. So I decided to do a haunted residential. So as you can see here, I'm kind of doing rocks all around the exterior of the build. I've raised the terrain up and done like a little slope coming down. My whole vision for that is I just kind of envisioned that there was going to be, it's kind of like quite rocky and arid. Well, not really arid, but yeah, definitely rocky, and up the sides it's going to be sort of like, you know, airy kind of plants and, you know, that sort of thing. When you look at the backdrop of this house, there's actually quite a lot of the rocks in the background, so it does kind of blend with that quite a lot. And this is kind of one of those houses that isn't exactly run down, but has been kind of abandoned and forgotten about because it's haunted, as you do. So I'm adding or thinking about adding things that do really add to the whole aura that this home is actually haunted, and it is actually a usable home. So if you did want to put a sim in here, you can do that. I did play test it to check if it is a usable home, and it is. It is 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and it is a little tiny, I believe it's a tiny house. I think, no, it's not a tiny house. I did do it as a haunted residential, not a tiny house, but I think it is quite small as far as like the shell goes. So there isn't there isn't like heaps of room on the interior. It is quite teeny tiny. So I'm adding things like the dry grasses and ferns and, you know, that sort of thing, things that kind of have a dead look to them. And then I dug into the get to work debug, because of course, if you're not familiar with get to work, it does have the whole alien Sixum world. So there is kind of this glowing, airy, like landscaping items in the debug in get to work, and this is kind of where I went with the build. So you'll see it as the build progresses. There's going to be kind of glowing lights, and yeah, it's got a very haunted feel, and like with it being a haunted residential as well, the thing with that is that you sort of get to about midnight and there's like these little specters floating around as well, and they glow up. So this looks absolutely magnificent at night. So I'm just adding in like some little gravestones because, hey, we're going to be adding to the creepiness of it all. And I if you watched my last Halloween build, which is where I built a vampire tiny home, I did a graveyard in that as well, but I didn't know about the fact there was some debug graves in the vampires pack. I discovered it when I was doing this build, and I was like, oh man, there's like actual graves already made in debug, and I was busy like putting these faux graves together using cottage living dirt. Oh my god. Anyway, Velvet being a dingbat. So I was just thinking about different things that I could do with this build. As you see, I was mucking around a little bit with the roof, but this is where I start to get a little bit airy with the lighting. So if you're not familiar with where this lighting actually comes from, so that is with the Realm of Magic pack. I decided not to go yellow. And this is actually a debug item as well. So if you activate your debug cheats, which is bb.hiddenobjects and bb.liveobjects on, then you should be able to find it if you select Realm of Magic as your pack filter. You should be able to easily find those in there, I would hope. So eerie glowing lights, they are going to be all over the place, and I kind of had this idea in my head that I would create a sort of a glowing effect on the interior of the house, and there would be like 2 small windows at the top and like a really big mouth kind of style window at the bottom. So it's kind of like this, it looks like a face almost, like the outside of the house kind of looks like this big eerie face. So yeah, you'll see me create that probably pretty soon. I'm just adding the last of the landscaping, just going through the paranormal pack at the moment, because that's another really great pack for creating those kind of creepy Halloween builds. So you've got like the paranormal pack, you've got the spooky pack, and you've got Realm of Magic, vampires. Imagine when the life and death pack comes out. Oh, that's going to be so good for doing like creepy builds and stuff. Oh man, I can't wait till that pack comes out. That comes out, well, it might be actually today, because, you know, I think this comes out on Halloween, this build. So yeah, that's exciting. Let's see. This build will come out, yes, on Halloween. So it is the day for the Life and Death pack. I'm recording this a couple of days beforehand, so yay! I'm going to be very hyped for that pack. I saw the gameplay trailer and the teaser trailer. That was the other thing. And oh, it just looks so amazing. Like the build buy looks incredible, and yeah, the gameplay just with resurrection, rebirth as they're calling it, you know, that sort of thing. Oh, just looks so good. So you can sort of see, I don't know if you can see it, but that was my vision, was like this creepy sort of glowing eyes and the glowing mouth was on the outside of the build. That's kind of the look I was going for. So you can sort of see me adding lights going all the way up on the interior. I do move them around so they don't have so much of the cross thing coming through the walls. But yeah, and then I sort of did more of the glowing lights on the roof as well, a little bit later in the build. I actually used the Castle Estate kit quite a bit a little bit in this build. So with the windows and with the fencing around the top of the roofs, and then I actually did roofing on the inside of that fencing as well, just to add a little bit of shape in there. And I think that ended up looking really good. So I was really, really happy with how I roofed this, because sometimes the Gothic style roofs can be a little tricky, a little tricksome, you know, but I think I got there in the end. So it's kind of got like this mini kind of castle-y kind of vibe, I think, which is kind of cool. What am I doing? Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm adding rooms to the tops of the build so that I can add trim. Because the actual house is only a small wall height, you can't add the freezers to the outside unless you create a false room where it can sit on top. So that's what I was doing there. And again, using some more of the Castle Estate windows around the build, because they look really good on a sort of a Gothic style home, which is what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to have that Gothic kind of vibe to it. Creepy, Gothic, glowing, haunted, you know, all those things, all those lovely, juicy, wonderful things. So yeah, went hard on the Castle Estate kit, which I honestly have used more than I thought I would, which is good. That's a good thing. Like, you can get your real value for money, because I'm not much of a castle builder. Like, I know there are people out there who like to do a lot of the historical style builds and a lot of castles, and I imagine that they get a lot of use out of the castle, out of the castle kit, because it is a great little kit. It has got some really lovely stuff. But I wasn't sure, like, I think it's got some really nice stuff, but I wasn't sure how much I would use it for my style of building. But turns out I really absolutely love the foundation. Like, the foundation that you get with the Castle Estate kit is outstanding. Love it to pieces. And I use that on modern builds all the time. I've used the windows probably less than I thought I would, but I have ended up using them on a variety of different styles of builds. I quite like the wallpaper as well. It's quite good. And again, I've used that on a variety of different builds as well. So to add to the creep factor, I am adding spider webs, of course, and loads of spiders all over the place. So when you are actually in live mode with this build, you will see all sorts of spiders crawling all over the spider webs. It is really gross. There's a lot of moving parts in this build that when you go into live mode, you can sort of see, and it's really awesome. I don't know if I show you guys it in live mode, and I should do. But yeah, it is really cool, just with like the ghosts moving around and yeah, spiders moving around. It's a lot creepier when it's all sort of going, you know, as you do. When you're in this sort of stage of the build, it's just kind of in your head how it's going to look. But when you actually see it actually in action and working, it's just like, ooh, this actually worked. Very cool. And I'm using I think it's the Spooky Stuff Pack lights with like the creepy sort of zombie arms, so using those a little bit as well. I find that pack a little kitschy, you know, it's just a little bit too cheesy and not actually spooky or, you know, creepy or whatever it's supposed to be. It's more like Halloween decorations where someone thinks it's supposed to be creepy but it's not. as you know, as you do. But there's some useful stuff in there, but it's not the best stuff pack, I've got to say. Anyway, moving on to the interior. So I am making this a functional living space. So don't you worry, if you wanted to live in this haunted space, you can. So I'm bringing in actual functional kitchen, actual functional dining table, the living area, bathroom, and bedroom. I did create less space for myself with this because I did block off my little glowing areas. Yeah, that's fine. I had enough space to get everything that I wanted in there. I'm just doing a little bar area and using, you know how we got, there was like that free stuff that we got, you know, login claim rewards. So I'm using the little bar that we got with that and using the Realm of Magic kitchen. I do actually make this look a lot more run down than what it seems at the moment. And when I did the living area, I didn't think about this at the time, but I ended up deleting the coffee table that I put in and decided to put in a seance table instead. So there is actually a seance table on this lot because I thought about it and realized it's a haunted residential. If you're going to be doing a haunted residential, you do have to have a seance table so that A, you can deal with it, or B, you know, like summon more dead things and make even more chaos. Up to you what you do with that. But yeah, you definitely need a seance table if you're doing a haunted residential lot. So you'll see me put a coffee table in here, I believe, but I end up trading that out and putting a seance table in instead in that space. And of course, we've got to have a creepy picture of Vlad, because why wouldn't you have a creepy picture of Vlad in the middle of your living room? and a skeleton. So this is where I start adding the cobwebs and make it look a little bit more of the abandoned kind of style. So it is kind of, you know, whoever was living here is gonna I can't handle these ghosts anymore and I'm gonna get out of here. See you later. And that's kind of what's happened, and it hasn't been lived in for a while, but it isn't run down, it's just abandoned. So, you know, time has kind of gotten a little bit harsh on the place. Like the creepy crawlies have kind of taken over the joint, but it's okay. It could be cleaned up with a little bit of love and care if you don't mind the ghosts and the terrifying lights and, you know, that sort of thing. It's fine. It's fine. So just working out what the rooms are going to be on the upstairs level. So just working out the bathroom. Obviously, I need to leave access to the balconies that I've created and decorated. So just being conscious of that as well. So this is going to be the bedroom upstairs, and then it's just going to have an ensuite. And then, yeah, just the kitchen, dining, living in the downstairs level. So it is just 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. So it could be a couple or it could be just a single person in here. And they are very brave living in this creepy, creepy house because, yeah, there is a lot of disturbing energy in this house, I've got to say. Yeah, it did take me a little while just to figure out what colors and stuff I wanted to go with in this living room. I mean, not this living room, in this bedroom, and what sort of style I wanted to go with. I actually ended up using the Get Famous wardrobe, which I normally wouldn't use, but it kind of worked with the vampire bed. And I don't know why. I just think it's just the contrast between the black with the white trim, and I think that kind of, yeah, it really did work with the vampire bed, which is kind of odd, right? But I didn't say these guys were poor. I just said the house had been abandoned. So, you know, they do have money to burn. That's not the concern. It's just that they got creeped out by all the hauntings. So just moving on to the hall area, coming upstairs. So they're just like a little hall area, so adding some paintings. And I think I ended up having to move a couple of things around in this bathroom because when I play tested it, he wouldn't. My little playtest dude wouldn't do a couple of things. So I think I ended up having to shift a couple of things around just to make it playable. But I don't think I really did too many different things. I think it just ended up pretty much the same. There was something, I can't remember what he couldn't use. I think it might have been the shower or something. Anyway, I got it to work, so it's fine. Whatever was wrong with it. So just adding the cobwebs, making it look a little bit more abandoned. You know, you gotta capture the vibe of what you're going for, and in this case I am going for the, you know, hasn't been lived in for a little while look. Still got the good stuff in it. They've just ran away. They're like, it's not worth my life to take all this furniture with me. I'm just getting out of here. See you later. So we are just about at the end of the build. I'm sort of adding in like the decorative elements, the haunted kind of vibe elements, really, just to make it look and feel like it is haunted. Adding a few more touches with the decorations around the place, but essentially, I think we're just about done. More of the spiders, because of course we always need more spiders. And it creeped me out, honestly, putting these spiders in. I was just like, ugh, yucky. Yeah, I was giving myself the heebie-jeebies with that. So I'm just going through, seeing what else I can add to the build. I'm adding some more of the brambles and stuff just to give that sort of overgrown kind of, the yard hasn't been cared for, the house hasn't been cared for in a while. So, you know, I did think about how it would, like, you know, life goes on even if you're not caring for something. So, you know, it is looking creepy. And look at those red lights. Isn't that cool? It's just so creepy. I love it. So, this is me deciding I needed even more glowing lights. As you do, like you're doing the creepy lights and stuff. So like, you know what? I need more creepy lights. So this is me adding them to the ceiling. 'Cause I just went overboard. What can I say? But it did look effective. Like, look at that. It looks like, you know, it's like green smoke coming up. Oh, and I added like fog machines as well to the exterior. I think I got rid of those glowing lights under the bed because I was like, that's too much. Out of all of my sticking points, that was too much. So this is how it all looks, all lit up at night with your little creepy paranormal dudes floating around up there. They look red and angry, so that's not ideal. And you can sort of see all the fog floating in there. Oh, it's kind of creepy, right? Super eerie. I love how it sort of came together, and you've got like spiders, glowing eyes staring at you. Tell you what, these Sims are not having a good time here, like with the paranormal little specters around the place. And you kind of can see like the spiders moving around in the webs there. Oh, you know what? it is a one creepy house, which is what I was going for. And you can sort of see, like, with all the lights glowing, you can sort of see the graves and like the skeleton and the eerie mushrooms. Ew. And that's how it all kind of came together on the exterior when you have a creepy thing going on at midnight. Yeah. So then we come to the inside, and it is not anywhere I would want to live, but hey, it might appeal to somebody. And you can see there we've got the seance table ready to go. We are basically dripping in spiders, which is just... And then upstairs we've got the bedroom. Again, lots of spiders, kind of overrun with creepy crawlies. And yeah, just using the vampire bits and pieces. And it is just our... I was going to say a cute little home. It is not. But you know what it is? It's haunted. We have a ghost who's going around breaking through things. Thanks very much, dude. Appreciate you. And that is our haunted, creepy build. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys had fun, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.